Here is our Terran player. We're going to find out soon what kind of architecture he will build on this map.
Tate Bomber.
Red Terran. Startail Bomber. Very, very strong player. Nice guy.
He is.
Former member of Eastro and Brood War. He went by NSP Fancy. But this guy is...
I am NesTea.
NesTea, fight that!
Not Bomber, he's
like,
NesTea.
he actually introduces himself as like, I am NesTea.
There he is. Headset matching his clothes. And there is the really cool NesTea Cheerful that we saw him being made earlier. A can of soda with a hat on. A couple people here. One guy's here from Maryland. Here hanging with his friend who's from Seoul. Bomber sending out a very early SCV to the bottom of his ramp to produce a barracks. And I wonder if we're going to see a second barracks next to that. I think that might wall his ramp if he puts another barracks there.
Yeah, this is and actually the reason why they changed a lot of the maps to put a little supply depot at the bottom of the ramp was so that you couldn't do things like this. But if he decides to, he can wall off again with another barracks. Or actually, you could just make a supply depot. I think that would wall as well.
You do very often see 2 racks pressure on this map, although it looks like he's not going to because we don't see the second barracks yet. Hatch first for NesTea. Droning up pretty hard.
Yeah, NesTea, he's a guy known for making a lot of drones. NesTea's like a millionaire. He's like, I bet he's got golden rings on his fingers. He just doesn't wear them to the cast when he leaves. He puts all his golden rings on. He's got all this like diamonds and stuff. I mean, he's won 2 championships. He's got a ton of money.
Yeah.
All right, so gas for Bomber actually really late timing, getting it at about 16 rather than the normal like 13, 14-ish timing for gas. So a little bit funky. It's almost as if he's not entirely sure what kind of build he wants to do. When you see something like that, it's kind of weird.
Well, that's true. He might be thinking about scouting first and seeing what NesTea's doing
so
and
now
responding to it.
Now I kind of get it. I think he was thinking about doing a gas expand. In fact, he only put 1 SCV in that gas, so he wants to get that command center up, and I think he just wants to have just enough gas to make a tech lab on this barracks. I think that's what he's got planned. And in fact, he's about to have enough. 2 more trips on that gas. Am I right? Not making a tech lab. Bomber's playstyle here a little bit confusing to me. Now he's going to make a second barracks, I think, to wall this off.
He may yet make the tech lab. We'll see.
It's just, I've never really seen a build like this where you get a late gas and only put 1 SCV on it and then don't make a tech lab and make a command center. It's
Maybe
a
he
little
wants to
funky,
save up for a reactor.
Maybe he does. Actually, he's about to make a factory.
Another barracks, though. This is, yeah, that was a little weird. There you go. He's just saving up for a factory.
Yeah, it may have been actually a mistake that he put only 1 in gas.
Well,
oh, now he put 4 in gas. I think Bomber... I think... I'm going to call it now. I think Bomber may be choking a little bit here. He put the 1 SCV in the gas. He got the gas late. Then he put 4 SCVs in the gas.
Well, I don't think it was a big mistake. I think the 4 is obviously a mistake, but he did end up with like just the perfect amount of minerals and gas to make that factory after his 2 barracks and his command center. So it may have been planned. We just don't know at this point. But yeah, this is definitely strange though. Now Bomber was the first that I saw at least to really go for the multiple orbitals off 1 base play against Zerg. You know, he even got 3 orbitals before expanding once in a game on Zelnaga that I saw. So I think he might just be going for something like that and trying to get a lot of economy and a lot of stuff out before taking his natural.
Yeah.
And then try and move out.
Well, he is making a second factory now back at home. He's making a Hellion out of his first one.
Interesting.
Started to get a lot of Marines out. Didn't fully wall off, but he had his Marines in such a way that it'd be very difficult for Zerglings to get in there cost effectively.
Huh.
Well, both of those barracks, or rather factories, naked at this point. Neither of them going to make a add-on.
They need to cover up, man.
And actually, he's just making 2 factories, Hellions, rather than making a reactor. And I think the reason why is he plans on actually using those factories or something else later. Just wants to make Hellions out at this time. And by all means, like, this build is probably a good build. It's pretty normal, but I've never seen it before.
Yeah, no, it definitely seems like something Bomber has specifically planned for this match and this map.
You know, I said earlier, maybe he's choking, but now he's starting to show some really technical stuff. He still has 4 guys on his gas. That's unfortunate, but those things happen to everybody.
Yeah, he is moving out for an attack here. He may have showed those 2 barracks and the orbital to make him think like, oh, I'm going mass Marines. And now with these Hellions, NesTea may not expect these Hellions. He does have a couple of spine crawlers going up with the main. He's got 24 Speedlings morphing right now, as well as a Baneling nest. I don't think the Banelings will be there in time, but the Speedlings are going to come out right at the last moment.
Yeah, and here come the Hellions. The Spinecrawlers trying to finish. Might target one of those down. Oh, it pulls back and
all he needs is a couple hit on those lings with the Hellions though, and he'll roast them all. Doing a good job of microing back, and he's going to take out every single Zergling. 2 Spinecrawlers are up at the front though.
Yeah, now
so
those
he
are
can't
up.
quite press that, but
NesTea's like, boom, 9 drones, and I'm taking the bottom right expansion.
wow.
That's what NesTea's like, man.
That is what he's like. And part of that's because those he got a couple Banelings out at the front. We see now, if he didn't have those Banelings, he would have to still be worried. But with a couple Banelings and a few Zerglings, you can defend against Hellions and Marines. So it's pretty smart for him to get that extra base. But Bomber still has pretty good map control. He's going to have Blue Flame soon as well.
Yeah, when that Blue Flame finishes up, he's going to continue to do some harassment. But NesTea does have those Spinecrawlers, has some Banelings out. With good control, he should be able to defend it quite easily. The problem for NesTea, the problem area, the target area is that third base. If it gets scouted, Blue Flame Hellions are going to reign supreme there. So we'll see.
Just to go back for a moment, I just want to say one more time how cool it was. I like the idea of having those Marines to like deal the damage and then keeping the Hellions behind them to roast the Zerglings as they come in to surround the Marines. It's pretty cool. And if NesTea hadn't made 24 Zerglings, if he'd made 18 Zerglings, he might have lost that push. So smart move. And hold that thought. Hellions trying to come in here. Single Baneling lands on the front of those.
That was nice.
If another one lands and kill all 3. Lands on just 1. He might be able to do some damage here, but their Queens are going to deny that.
Some really nice creep spread by NesTea. He's actually just making his drones into whatever he can to save them, and he's probably going to cancel those as soon as the Hellions are cleaned up. Well, maybe not.
Oh, those drones coming at the wrong time, and 2 of them die. He is really being persistent with these Hellions. He's like, you can't kill my Hellions fast enough. I'm just going to kill your drones.
Yeah, and NesTea just like grabbed all his drones and made all of them into a different structure. I mean, that's one way to save your drones.
And 2 Hellions somehow get out alive.
Yep. But this one Speedling, you guys didn't get a shot of it. Tried to take those Hellions out by himself. Didn't work.
Spire being produced now. Doesn't want to have to deal with those Hellions. It's a smart move, but Bomber not persisting with like mass mech play or anything like that. He still does have a lot of bio coming out.
That's true. And it looks like he may want to push that third base moving forward here, but NesTea morphing a lot of Banelings, as you can see, 14 of them in fact. Does have a Spinecrawler up, in fact going to reposition some Spinecrawlers to make it very easy to defend this push. Well, I say very easy. Make it much easier, significantly easier. He may try to flank here to attack from the back and while the Spinecrawlers are at the front. In fact, that's exactly what he's going to do. Get a shot of it in a second. Here come the Marines, though, up the ramp. And NesTea decides not to flank.
Tanks powering down that Spinecrawler. Tanks do tons of damage, and they're really good against buildings. And here he comes down the ramp, and the Marines caught off guard do go down. That one tank somehow survives long enough for the Roaches to kill it. Does he have? He has siege mode, right? Yeah.
Yeah, he does.
He's just going to siege up outside the creep and just use this as a staging point to try and prod in. And if he gets siege tanks in the right position and vision, he can start taking out those Spinecrawlers and he can start hitting the hatchery from the low ground.
Very true.
But he needs to worry about that little force picking off reinforcements.
It's a tough spot for Bomber because he's got his forces kind of split up right now, and NesTea has Roach speed. He's trying to pick units off here and there, as you can see in the middle of the map. And Bomber, he wants to do damage here, but now some of his forces are kind of trapped. It looks like he's going to try to rescue them. But here come the Roaches down the ramp, going to target down these siege tanks. Whoa, a little bit sloppy there by NesTea. Not decisive at all. Just basically right-click moved into those siege tanks that ran away.
Yeah. Not good to run into siege tank fire usually.
Usually. So unless you're like dropping wheels on top of siege
I try
tanks.
and avoid it.
You try to avoid it?
Yeah.
That's good.
Some
Marines trying to dart up here.
So
Spinecrawlers at the top.
Yeah, so here he is. Here he's going to try and siege up on the low ground and use it. And that because if he has vision, that low ground actually protects his tanks. So on the ridge there, so he's able to shell that, and it looks like a little bit of a counter going for NesTea across the map. And he's going to try and come around from behind those tanks.
Are out. He's going to try to target those down.
Bomber leaving his reinforcements at home in a group so they don't just get countered little by little by that force in the middle. Smart move, but now he's going to move a large force across. And oh, the Marines lose track of those tanks for a minute. The Mutas come in and pick them off.
Does take out 2 of those
Oh,
tanks.
but he got the hatchery. I didn't even realize that. He did kill the hatchery in the midst of all that.
Yeah, I was going to mention that. That's really important. That's the key here, because even though he's going to lose his entire army, he did get that hatchery, but even so, he's lost a lot of units. Now, this middle part of the map is so hard to attack. That's what I was trying to talk about earlier. The map architecture here lends itself to the siege tanks being at the top of the ramp. It's very difficult to attack with melee units when there's so many ramps, and the siege tanks are at the top with a nice concave with Marines supporting them. Very, very difficult to break through. But when you have units like Mutas, you can run through and target down siege tanks.
Bomber is sieged up here.
Yeah, he's got his forces split into 2 groups so that no units can kind of catch him off guard.
Yeah, he does need to be careful, though, that he does stay sieged up. He doesn't want to... There's a large group of Banelings around, and there's more morphing. Hold that thought. Muta's coming in to do some harassment. Medevacs are like, whoa, this is not the party we were invited to. They need to turn around, and I don't know if he has Marines or anything back here. A few Marines charging him, but they're going to die. That's actually... This counterattack is really doing a lot of damage. He needed a Thor or something back at home to prevent this.
Yeah, and the Mutas just cleaned up everything, like you said. Tanks coming out, they're dying instantly. So basically, what Bomber has, if the Mutas stay there, what Bomber has is what he's going to get, because he's not going to be able to get any more units out, because there's production facilities are camped. Here he comes forward, though. In the middle of the map, here he goes. Zerli's running in while the tanks are on siege, though. There's a ton of roaches trying to get into position as well. The Marines running like a marathon out of there.
Whoa.
And it looks like he does clean it up, and NesTea looks like he's in a dominant position because he still has those Mutas cleaning up those SCVs. Bomber is in trouble.
Yeah, Bomber is in trouble. He's trying to land a 3rd base over here, and it's going to get caught by these Mutas. Command Center's like running away, trying to get back to the defense of the Marines and turrets. And that Command Center in the top right, he needs that. Does get saved. But yeah, man, NesTea retook his 3rd in the bottom right, and Bomber needed to do some damage to equal what happened with that counterattack.
Even though he lost...
He lost his army, but he didn't, like, kill a base or drones or anything, really.
He didn't lose that many SCVs when NesTea came in, but NesTea's there again in the main, trying to prove me a liar. He's like, nah, I'll kill his SCVs right now, then. You have to be very careful. Does control... That's how you control your Mutas. The second there's a chance that you might lose some Mutas, you get them out of there.
Yep.
That's how you do it.
The Marines say, none of that, none of that. Come on, stop now.
Now, NesTea could actually take another base at this point, but I think he just wants to continue to be aggressive, which is smart. Yeah. Supplies right now, NesTea at 146, 94 for Bomber. Bomber's still repairing that command center, not able to land it quite yet, because his opponent's constantly checking. So NesTea's like, oh, I'm not going to let you take a 3rd base, never.
Yeah, and he really needs that to be a planetary when he lands it too, so it doesn't do much good to land it right now. Bomber is moving out a little bit here, kind of posturing, trying to take up a good position so he can defend. And it looks like Bomber's actually going to float it up to the top left, which is going to be a little bit easier for him to kind of defend against than try to go all the way around to the right, to that base on the right.
Yeah,
oh, never mind. Make me a liar now. He's moving his command center back to the right.
NesTea's taking that 4th base. I'd love to see him take the gold base at this point because he's got such map control, but he may actually double expand into it because NesTea's been known to do that.
He has been known to do that. I heard of a game once, last game, that he did that.
I've heard about that.
Long time ago.
I don't know if he took a gold base last game because I don't think there are any gold bases on Tall Doing Altar.
He didn't do that, but he did double expand.
He did double expand. Now, Bomber's actually moving a pretty large force to defend that orbital, or rather command center, before it becomes a planetary. He wants to make sure he can take care of it, nurture it into a planetary fortress. Then once it becomes a planetary, he can maybe
kick it out of the
alone.
nest.
Exactly. Now here comes some more Mutas, though. If he targets down those tech labs, that'll be huge. And in fact, that's exactly what he's going to do. It's
like he's gonna almost get the factory. He does get the factory.
Oh yeah, he targeted down the factory. It's not exactly what he's doing. I mean, kind of, but not exactly.
Well, if you can get a factory, you go for the factory. But usually you just want to target the tech lab because it's an easier target.
Yeah, he just has so many Mutas out. In fact, 6 more on the way. They'll put him at 29 as soon as all those Mutas pop.
Oh my goodness. That is going to be huge because those guys have, oh, hold that thought. Some Banelings rolling around. Looking for they're going to, okay, that's only 5 SCVs actually. Is he going to blow them up on those SCVs? Nah, doesn't take the bait. He wants to wait for a big bio army to move over that. Then he's going to blow it. What was I saying before?
I don't know what you were saying before. What I'm saying now is that it's good that Bomber was able to get that base up, but NesTea, even though he took that 4th base, I'd really love to see him take another hatchery. There's no disadvantage of doing that at this point, especially a hatchery really far away from this planetary. And actually, he wants to attack right now. Here he goes. Not sure if I agree with this attack because there are a lot of siege tanks, but he may just have enough stuff. Muta's rolling forward here, and the Marines may be enough to hold it.
Yeah, those
Not
Mutas,
quite.
those Mutas are +2 attack upgraded. They tear through Marines so quickly. I believe the Marines only have +1 armor, but either way, they're just doing so much damage with that huge flock of 22 Mutas. He takes things out so quickly. Mass repair on the turrets is not enough. Wait, it will be. It is enough.
Well, it was only enough because NesTea left. I think he actually would have gotten it, but he was a little bit indecisive there.
Yeah.
Oh, and here comes Bomber's force. Is he going to walk over those banelings?
Oh, no. Oh, a huge force.
Oh! And here come the Zerglings to clean up.
NesTea moving in, and the GG coming from Bomber. The game-ending Baneling landmine taking the series for NesTea. And wow, Bomber, you know, he took out the best Terran in the world in MVP in the Code A Finals. But here in the round of 32 of the Super Tournament, NesTea, the best Zerg in the world, taking him out and advancing to the round of 16 in his stead. And that was very well played. And NesTea just showing why he's so dominant, why he is the best Zerg, just with some immaculate play.
Yeah, some
really
decisive moves. I liked it. The Baneling landmines were really smart as well. And, you know, I was like, is he going to do it perfectly right? Because I was like, if he gets it at the perfect moment, he'll kill so many Marines. And he did. He did it just right.
Yeah.
I was like, that's how you do it.
Poor Bomber. Poor Bomber. Yeah, man, that was hardcore. He's like, all right, I've got my army. I can move out for one final push. And he lost 3/4 of it in one shot.
Yeah, it's
Didn't
almost
even get
saddening.
the chance to make that last
I could tell
push.
Bomber actually just walked by us. He got out of here pretty quick, and I could tell he was a little disappointed with his results today.
Yeah.
But that's how it goes. NesTea is a master.
That's how it goes.
He is a master. He's a grandmaster, actually.
So only one championship upset today in MVP. Getting taken out, man, by Slayer's Ganji. Wow.
Yeah.
So
3 Slayers players advance, and NesTea advances today.
And NesTea advances. We're gonna.
I think we're gonna have a quick little interview here.
Yeah, we're gonna interview our winner NesTea in just a minute there, but and that's gonna be pretty cool. But man, I don't know what Bomber could have done. He just got like outplayed. Like everything. It wasn't like a situation where like Bomber didn't take advantage of something or like he made a mistake or anything like that. He played really well. There was just nothing you could do. We're gonna get to that interview now, though.
Any second now?
Probably.
Maybe.
Anyway,
most likely.
but yeah, Bomber again. It's a really good play, but just nothing you can do against the superior
A
play.
우승자 매치 미리 보는 결승 매치라고 해도 과언이 아닌 경기였습니다. 임재덕 선수가 승리를 하게 됐습니다. 축하드립니다. 네,
Congratulations, NesTea.
자, 지금 현재 기분이 굉장히 좋으실 것 같아요. 현재 소감 부탁드릴게요.
일단
How do you
제가
feel right now?
굉장히 어렵다고 생각한 최진영 선수를 이겨서 너무 기분이 좋아요 지금.
입이 귀에 걸리셨어요. 네. 자, 이로써 이제 레전드 중 유일하게 남은 레전드가 됐습니다. 어떤 자세로 경기에 임하실 겁니까 앞으로?
So he feels pretty good.
일단
Gugims is a Korean
지금
clothing
3회
company. I just found
우승을
out, by the way.
이제 제가 제일 먼저 찍을 수 있는 기회가 있어서 이게 정중현 선수와 이제 장민철 선수가 떨어져서 이번에 제가 한번 3회 우승을 한번 해보도록 열심히 하겠습니다.
의지가 대단한 것 같아요. 자, 그리고 16강 상대는 다음 주에 이제 결정이 됩니다. 이영섭 선수 그리고 김정은 선수 결정이 되는데 어떤 선수가
because he just beat one of the top players, he feels he has a good
많이
chance at the
했으니까
championship.
이제 프로토스전을 좀 하고 싶은데
네.
형섭이가 올라오면은 좀 어렵긴 하겠지만
He wants to play against Protoss in this tournament.
그러시구나. 그리고 제가 역대 이제 인터뷰를
He is going
하시던
to be
분 중에
playing
키가
Slayer
가장
Brion
커서
next. Or no, I'm sorry.
편해요.
They're from a different group. I forgot what that bracket looks like.
개인적인
But
의견이었고요.
he
자,
says he
그리고
wants to play
마지막
Protoss.
임재덕 선수를 응원하시는
Games
팬분들이
haven't been
굉장히
played yet, so we don't know who's gonna
많습니다. 그분들을
play.
위해서 앞으로의 각오 부탁드리겠습니다.
네, 앞으로
Do you have any words for your
응원
fans,
많이
they said?
해주시면은 해주시는 대로 제가 더더욱 더 그 적으로서 멋진 모습으로 네 많이 보여드리도록 노력하겠습니다. 네, 많이 응원해 주세요.
네, 축하드립니다. 앞으로의 선수는 기대하겠습니다. 네.
He says, I'm going to show you guys some more great games and fun games for Zerg. And thank you very much for supporting me, he said. So there you go.
So yeah, Googums is a clothing company. I actually can't believe I forgot that. And also, I think IM was recently sponsored by Coca-Cola, I heard.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they were.
Yeah.
Which is kind of funny because Coca-Cola is the company that makes... Coca-Cola is the company that makes NesTea. So it's kind of funny that NesTea is now sponsored indirectly by NesTea.
That's true.
Tasteosis, man. They demanded it. They said, someone tell NesTea to sponsor this guy. And they did, sort of indirectly. Anyway... Here's the results for today. Started off with an upset, Ganji versus MVP. Ganji taking on MVP. Slayers MMA barely breaking out with the win, 2-1 against Supernova. Ryung outplaying Violet, the Code-S player, 2-1. And NesTea rolling Bomber 2-0 with some incredible
what we
macro
thought
play.
might be the closest games of today.
Were actually the most one-sided, yeah. Very interesting. So that was the matches for today. Of course, the first three were from Group A, and the last one was from Group D.
All right, so we've got MVP Keen, OGS Juke2, TSL Trickster versus the Best FOU, MVP Genius versus Slayers Men, Hong and Prime versus TSL Revival. I'll be here tomorrow casting those matches.
Yeah, so Keen versus Juke2, by the way, is the last match that Bomber NesTea's match took place of. They're going to play that tomorrow. And then 3 matches from Group B as well. So that's what's going on there.
Indeed. Yep. Well, Hongen, I wonder if he'll beat Revival. I think that he might have some trouble. Genius.
Yeah, those are going to be pretty good.
Genius versus Men, I think he might have some trouble as well.
Those are all going to be pretty cool games as well. We got TVZ, PVT, PVZ. No mirror matches tomorrow. And yeah, those are actually... also look like they're going to be pretty close. Now, of course, I thought Bomber versus NesTea was going to be close, and NesTea just outclassed him. But those should be pretty cool games.
Yeah, they definitely
pretty cool
should.
Games.
Well, guys, it's been fun. It's been one of the longest days of casting I've ever had at the GSL.
Yeah, it is. It is pretty late here. The only time it was later was during the team league when we had to do 2 best of 7s. That went pretty late. Anyway, thanks very much for watching. Thanks again to LG Cinema 3D, Intel, G-Skill, all that. I am Moltrap. With me here is Wolf. We have been happy to cast these tournament games for you, and thanks very much for watching.
See you tomorrow.